Hey everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Eternal Evolution. Now we've had quite a few weeks of playing around in Guild Boss, well, Guild Hunt, and now it's time to do some properly updated guides on what's really best for these bosses. We're going to start with the Scythe Spider. So yes, we're going to start with the Scythe Spider today, not to be confused with Scythe. If you know the joke, you should probably watch my other video. Anyway, so we've had some time to play around and really learn what works best for these bosses now. I did put out guides real quick that were based on my guildmate's information that he had put out as recommendations, but in the end, it seems like we don't really need tanks. That's one thing we really learned so far. For the most part, especially if you have Mazrani at least. If you have Mazrani, you're definitely golden. Otherwise, you might have to get creative with a double healer comp or a semi-tank like Leo that's going to do damage and tank. But overall, you don't need tank for Guild Hunt. You really don't. Especially if you're talking a little bit more endgame. And it depends on what you're working with, but it doesn't seem like it's needed. And it seems like no matter what combination we do, it's almost better to have no tank and another DPS in there. And maybe they die a little early, but you're still going to do more damage overall. So let's get into this. So my guild, keep in mind this is a little bit more of an end game guild, but that's okay. I want to show you guys what we're working with, what the top guilds and guild members are working with. I want to show you guys the fun stuff, right? You want to know what to strive toward. And when it comes to this, and it comes to working with building triple S heroes that you want for specific content, you want to know who's worth it to build in the end, right? You don't want to waste your resources building a triple S hero that you find out is very mediocre, like Guan Yu or Scythe. But overall with this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys some team comps, and I'm going to talk about who's good for it while I place my heroes into a rotation, and we're going to do a run, and then I'll also show you my heroes. But we're going to talk about everything regarding this boss, the mechanics, and pretty much how best to beat it. So first of all, Scythe Spider, very similar ideas of the other spiders like in Twilight or the main spider boss. There's a mama spider that spawns a bunch of spiderlings, so AoE damage is going to be key here. There's also some pretty high damage like this toxin that comes out that you got to be careful for. And then it gains extra attack as the time goes on, so that's something that can influence some people dying a little bit early in your battle. So that's just something to keep in mind. But overall, it's pretty straightforward. You want AoE damage, right? And let's take a look at some of my guildmates here. All right, let's click this one. Look at this crazy damage. So Rhoda, of course, is going to be your commander. And then also keep in mind, you are going to probably want the prototypes for AoE damage, like Solar Flare if you have the mythic one, or Flowing Rune, or there's a couple other options that can work okay. But that's going to come in handy for sure. Mazrani is going to be in there as your healer. You really don't need a tank in this situation either. But if you could also put Daniel on the front line next to Mazrani. Keep in mind that top left corner is where they get attacked first. So you want your toughest hero there. And that's going to be Mazrani more than likely for this boss at least as well. And then you're going to have Ravenna boosted by Res. If you have a maxed out Ravenna, or at least if that's your best AoE damage dealer, absolutely boost Ravenna with Res. It's so worth it. She does insane damage. Look at her doing all this damage like on her friggin' own. It's nuts, right? It's nuts. And then Luke is amazing damage plus support, right? He brings the decreased defense, plus he puts out pretty solid damage himself. Nowhere near the damage that Ravenna's going to pump out, but he's going to help enable her to do more damage. So that's a really good team there. Let's take a look at what some of the others are using. Pregor and Moriami combo is very strong in this as well. Or just Pregor as a damage dealer herself. As you can see here, it's not too bad. Like, instead of using Res to boost Ravenna, he went ahead and used Pregor. But this same comp could possibly be made better by using Res to boost Pregor, or more, Ravenna instead. Oh, here we are. Yeah. Here we are. So, okay. So let's see. Mecha used pretty similar combo, except instead of Daniel, they're using the twins. So that it's just a really good. So of course, the twins also boost your allies' defense and attack stats. So they're kind of a support damage dealer like Luke. Luke's gonna drop the defense of the enemy, and they're gonna boost your defense and your attack and make your damage even higher. So they're kind of like defense or offensive support. Not only are they gonna help your main damage dealer, but they also can put out a little damage themselves. But it's amazing how strong Ravenna is for this, guys. If you have not worked on her, I highly, highly suggest it. And I think the more you see these numbers, the more you're going to see Ravenna is the queen of Spider. She's the queen of PvE AoE damage. And luckily, Daniel is pretty good as well. So let's take a look. I hate how they don't save our old stuff. We always have to go in. But all right, we're going to talk Rota for Commander. Now, if you're struggling with too many people dying early, you might put in Leo, but overall, you're not going to use tanks. We have realized that tanks are not really needed for Guild Hunt. You're going to do more damage with just more DPS or improving your healer. If you don't have Masrani and that's a hard time keeping people alive, you might need something else like Leo or something to do damage, but also sort of tank. But don't use Crete or other tanks for the most part, honestly. You're going to do better off with just different combinations of DPS. Now, once it got really high, like I was at stage 11 and fighting Atlas Whale, and they just hit so hard at that stage where the only way I could make everyone survive was using a double healer, but then it killed my damage. So it's like you can't win. If you take away a DPS to get more support to keep people alive longer, you do less damage anyway. All right, let's see. I know I have one for Ravenna. Let's see, which one? This is one to the ultimate. I think I have a +2 to her ultimate and more crit rate to the back. So let's go ahead and do that. Although with this formation, I think I'm going to go ahead and not put her in the back, and put Luke. I'm still going to put Luke in the back. It's not an ideal prototype for her because of this, but I want Rez to be boosting her. So Rez is going to be on the same line as her. So if you don't put Rez on the same line as the one person you're trying to make sure is boosted, then he will just boost whoever has the highest attack, I believe. So that's something to keep in mind when you're planning this. Also, when it comes to your prototypes, if you are only using Masrani, and there's no other tank involved, none of these are doing anything for you, except they're adding your stats, so keep that in mind. So just use whichever one is going to give your team the best stats. Okay, 43, 43, 20. Okay, so I'm just going to give myself the best stats I can by accepting one of the others. And here we're going to go with probably Solar Flare, though, because this is very strong. But, I mean, Flowing Room is okay because it keeps boosting your energy and you can just go more and more and more. There's also Praying Eyes. That could be okay, or Vision Stone, but I think it's kind of fun to take advantage of this if we can, to just boost our ultimates. Although it does lose a little stats because I only have a level 9 one, but it seems to be okay for now. So this is going to be my comp. And I am going to go ahead and try this on full auto. Usually, I've tried to do these. I've had talked to other guildmates about this. When it comes to Guild Hunt, it doesn't seem to be too much more beneficial to do it on manual, honestly. It just doesn't seem to do much better. I could see maybe with the spider, if you can figure out when they're about to do their big shoot in a straight line damage, you maybe can move some people out of the way for the people that can move. But you can't just move everybody, so I think if you're working with like Bailey or someone like a Taylor that you physically move, that's different. But you wouldn't have them necessarily in here as well. So before we get into this battle, though, I do want to show you guys some other combinations of which you could use if you maybe so you don't have Ravenna, right? Let's say, or maybe, I just want to, okay, I'll just point them out. I'll say I'm not going to change it. Let's just point it out. Pregor and Moriami, like mentioned, are a very strong duo for this as well. Or Pregor can be in there as well. Maybe if you don't have Rez, only like a level or two, and he's too squishy to last, maybe you have Pregor in there instead. If you don't have all these triple S heroes that we're talking about for doing your damage, well, don't you worry. Kane is really strong up here. He's great. And again, Nagrama is really great as well. Sorietta is more single target. And yeah. This bot, he's actually pretty good as kind of a decoy slash an extra damage as well, Senway. But that would probably be only if you're really missing everyone else. Like, Falvia is also a strong hero here. Look at, they're even suggesting her. She's actually an increased damage hero today. So Heroes of the Week, when they have certain heroes in here, you're going to get extra stats. So keep that in mind as well. So this could be one of those things where maybe I don't use Daniel. Well, actually, maybe we use Daniel for one, and maybe we use the twins for other and just see the results. That could be really fun. Although it is really hard to tell your actual damage because it doesn't count for like the other stuff. It only counts for the main spider, right? So it's kind of hard to figure out exactly how much damage you've done to stop your battle early. But that's another thing to keep in mind, guys. You can always quit your battle and not waste your key. Never leave it with like 1% left. If it's something that could be done with just one attempt, don't leave it. Also, if you know you're struggling with people dying suddenly and you don't want to waste the key accidentally, just turn it to 1x speed so you can pause it last minute and exit out the battle. But I'm curious to see what happens here. I mean, I know Ravenna's going to be the star. I want to make sure I don't have everything is on full auto. Yep, everything's on full auto here. Let's see how this runs. I mean, everyone stays pretty well centralized with these boss battles, so it's not too bad. It's not like you have to worry about so much splitting up. All right, come on, come on. There's the little beetle flying above the ladybug. This seems pretty solid to me so far. Look at that damage from Ravenna. Now, I am not going to get that 1 billion damage. I literally have like half the CP as my guildmates that are doing that. But yeah, I'll just reiterate. I know I'm blocking the people, but yeah, you see what's happening here. No one's even coming close to dying for this boss, at least. Nice big damage we're putting out. But you want your Masrani? If you have them. If you don't, they should absolutely be a focus for your account, at least as your... If you pick a DPS, pick Masrani as your second hero to take to Immortal as a triple S. Any Gene Hybrids, totally worth putting into Masrani. He's insane for PvE content and arena. He's just kind of insane for everything and makes a big difference with his AoE heals. He's also a buffer, of course, as well. And using the new heroes like Daniel's been amazing. Like he's been super, super fun to add to the mix. And I'm always surprised at how much damage he's actually doing. And Rez is just kind of an enabler, right? He's boosting one of your other heroes. And that makes a huge difference. Like taking out Rez... You think, oh, he's just support. Is it better to have an extra damage dealer or is it better to have the extra support? With someone in particular like Ravenna that is so strong for this boss, it's better to just boost her, enable her. It's kind of like going through story mode and stuff in the campaign. I would always use Rez to boost Bailey, or Arena. Rez boosts Bailey. He's the main damage dealer and he just enables him to do more and more and more. That's really helpful. Did we run out of time? I think we ran out of time. All right, I'm gonna screenshot that over here. That's okay for me. I can't be mad at that. I am not quite the level of my guildmates that are doing 1 billion damage. I mean, to be fair, I could probably be. I just haven't got everyone to 240 yet. I'm almost there to start doing hyper evolution, and that will make a huge difference. Also, I think I have not taken the time to do a deep dive, detailed gear cleanse and re-gearing. I have so much gear that I'm always overflowing, and I really need to cleanse my gear and do a bunch of smelting, crunch the bad gear with smelting to hopefully get perfect gear. That's the goal. I love the smelting feature. All right, so we got 682 million with that. I'm totally happy with that, honestly. At this stage, I've been constantly improving, and that feels very solid. Now, what I want to do is try the twins and do the same thing. So we're going to do this battle, and then I'll go show you guys my builds and how I am working with these people. Although I'm going to tell you, I swear, my people are not perfect, though. They're definitely not perfect. But it's all right. We're getting there. We're getting there. She's just such a beast. I love Ravenna. I think she's probably got my best build on my account, to be honest. That's the funny part, too. It's like, I love Bailey Hudson and all, But I really did, when I built Ravenna, I was like, I know she's insane for Twilight, and I really want to ramp up my Twilight lands, which I'm on the boss for stage 12. Woo, that's crazy. I'm excited. But this is so solid, and it's the Ravenna show. Of course, if there was someone else in here, they would be doing more. It'd probably be a little bit more even damage between like Luke and Pregor or something else. But she's just bonkers. And I have mine built pretty solid, I think. I hope. Either way, I'm going to show you guys my builds as well. And I will, like I've always said, they're not perfect. I'm in with an endgame crew and I'm doing endgame stuff, but I'm not like that crazy endgame, honestly. I'm really not. I have so much more to progress through. I can't even beat Twilight Lands yet, so when I can beat Twilight Lands 15, I'll feel like I've done enough, but I'm not there yet, that's for sure. I'm far from it. All right, how are we doing? This is really solid as well. I'm super curious to see which one. I mean, it could be the reality of Skur and Hattie being boosted, having that extra stat boost because they're heroes of the week can make a really big difference. And now keep in mind, we did see Falvia there as well. So maybe you don't have a Ravenna, but you can re-gear and make your Falvia really strong for this. It might be worth trying to pump out some extra damage for your guild hunt. This is really big, honestly. Focusing hard on guild hunt to get that class technology up and get those resources is just absolutely game changing. Like, I can't believe the stats that we're getting on our heroes now. So regearing is a different world now. Boom, and more damage. Okay, so that will probably be my team for the next one that pops up as well. I am completely fine with that. I'm happy we had a little bit more damage and over 700 million. So let's go take a look at my people and I'll try to wrap this video up. It's getting a bit long, sorry. But I do want to show the build. So boom, there's some total damage. Boom. Yes, give me all the stuff. So before I show you my builds, I'm going to show you my class technology because that does affect the damage of my heroes, obviously. For tanks, I have not really started focusing yet, and we're not even using them in Guild Hunt, so that's fine. Vanguard, I have been using Leo quite a lot and Crete quite a lot for everything, especially like Twilight. And so I did go first with them on the health. Assassin, I went straight to max level with the crit damage because Bailey, honestly, and I don't regret that. 49% extra crit damage is insane. The hunters, I started focusing as well, so I went crit damage and attack percentage for my hunters like Emma, Pregor, etc. I got a Xena built and she's so much fun. Support, I just started focusing some extra. I really should have went to support sooner rather than later, honestly, because that's the key to the survival, right? Like the health, the HP for bigger heals or shields or whatever, you want that HP. Energy heroes, I did max the crit damage because of my heroes that I've been using lately. There's been a lot of focus there. I do want to focus the crit rate, or sorry, the attack for sake of like Luke especially. That's really good with just a lot of attack. Summoners are also going to be a strong one that I want to focus attack and HP on as well for like Skur and Hattie and Daniel in particular. But I do want to max these out, but it's hard. And there's definitely an imbalance of this resource compared to this resource. Like you can definitely go ahead and throw all of these to level 5 on every single one. Like we just get so much more purple stuff than we do the other. So that's a little bit disappointing, honestly. I kind of wish we could turn this into the red, but we're already getting a little bit too overpowered as it is, right? But let's go take a look at the builds. The builds don't show the class technology, so you're going to see what I'm using without those. So Luke is there as an enabler. He does decrease the defense of the enemies there. He's so good. Aha. And he does true damage, so he's really helpful overall. So I do have Luke in the attack set. The only reason he's in this set is because my attack hero gear has been terrible, and at least got some good stats here for, no I don't. I keep forgetting to re-gear him. Oh hey, do I have any attack? No, that's why. One of these days I'm going to get a better attack glove to give him, but I think I've been stealing that for other people lately, as he's taken a little bit of a backseat for me, sort of, in the sense of the main damage dealer now that we have Ravenna. So it's fine. He's not the main damage dealer, and I don't want to steal from the people that are the main damage dealers. But he's all right, right? He's all right, right? I do have him with pretty solid attack, almost 100,000, so I can't be mad there. And Masrani, you're going to want in a shield or healing and HP set. Damage reduction boots are really good. If you're noticing that certain heroes keep dying, you could just throw them in damage reduction boots. That's also a really good help here. But because I have them in an healing set, I wanted to make sure my HP was high enough. So I have 2 million HP, which is what I was kind of aiming for with him, and 10k defense. And I really wasn't able to get the damage reduction on him yet, but he's doing okay. He's definitely not dying too soon in any of these stages, so I think it's okay for now. I do have him at EX30 as well, though. And then we're gonna talk Rez. Rez is my booster. So he's got ton of survivability, 2.3 million, 11k defense, and damage reduction only a little bit. I probably should get more on him, honestly. But does he have damage reduction boot? Oh, he doesn't. He only has HP. Damage reduction for him can be really helpful if you notice him dying easily as well. But he is in a light gap set with HP focused gear. So that works really well for him, just to be able to go more and more and more often and use that amazing ultimate to restore the allies' energy to the max. So it's like, just let someone go again with their ultimate. I haven't started forcing up his yet, but that sounds like a pretty nice one that I want to work on soon. But I'm just trying to get my other core damage dealers done first. But the exclusive weapon materials are very scarce, so be careful who you use them on. And then we have, I didn't use Pregor, but she's absolutely someone you can use. Pregor in Gluttony, focused on attack, is very strong. I do have a little crit rate on her too, but she's a really great hero as well. Mine's not perfect. I would love to get more crit damage on her, but she smacks. She really does. And she can be a solid option. I forgot, I went right by Nagrama. Nagrama can also be used, absolutely. For me, I just threw random damage gear on him. It's probably a hot mess of stats, but he's okay. 57,000 attack is all right, and enough crit rate. Plenty of crit rate. I probably need to get more crit damage on him. But I've had a lot of success using him so far as well. Kane is another one that's come from those Rise of Heroes events. Absolutely worth using. Same thing, just a typical damage gear. Get some crit rate, crit damage, and attack stats on him. Ravenna is the queen of AoE damage. So she's got some of my best builds. I do have her in 64,000 attack. A little low, 56% crit rate. That should be higher. But my crit damage on her is pretty bonkers. I have her in crit damage gloves, and I do need to boost that crit rate a little more, but she's doing fine. I'll get her a little bit better, though. But it's a gear race, right? It's just a matter of getting the perfect gear. I only have her at exclusive 20 as well, so whew, I definitely look forward to maxing out her her exclusive here and to get those extra stats as well. She's just a monster. But I was working on Emma and then Cree and then Leo, and then maybe I'll probably do Ravenna as well. I was working what's he got? Yeah, he's just got to 30. All right, so you can use Pregor if you're working with Moriami, you could use Moriami if you're pairing with Pregor. Keep her in mind for your battle setups as well. But yeah, oh wait, was that all? Was that oh, here, Daniel and Skur and Hattie. So there's a couple summoners here that work pretty well for this boss, right? Our new guy Daniel does some AoE damage, and he's so much fun. So what's his ultimate read? He just does all the things. All the summons. He's so much fun. Summons a dire bear to smash down the target location. It's really good damage, and I built Daniel with attack focus, like pure attack. But again, my gear is limited with my attack, which my poor Luke needs one of these gloves, I swear. But so I do have him with a little bit of survivability, but still an attack focus. So I feel like the attack percentage stuff is really getting spread thin on my account. I'm constantly using it, including for these guys, the twins. Skewer and Hattie I have with full attack. I could see attack plus gluttony on them as well, but they're pretty hard to, you want to get solid attack on them before you try to put extra crit rate and crit damage. So maybe once you get their exclusive up to 30 and you get that bonus attack, then you can try to add a little crit rate and crit damage to them too. But I wouldn't overly focus it. Just pure attack is fine for them, honestly. And they are a bit of support for the team as well with that, I think it's this here. Or no, here? Crap, where is it? Yeah, increases the allies' attack and defense. Okay, I was here. Super helpful to give a little bit extra support for your team and pump out a little damage at the same time. But that's all for now, guys. This video was a little bit long. I'm sorry, I didn't want to make it so long, but I also wanted to properly show the battles this time. I hope this is helpful for you guys deciding to put together your teams for the Guild Hunt Scythe Spider. But I'll try to do updated guides on the other ones, and I'll try to be a little bit quicker on those. But we have lots to show, right? Especially when we're actually doing the battles. So I'll leave it at that, though. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.